Kia ora everybody. Just before I start, I'd like to thank the panel for giving up your time to be with us and to share this space. Also like to thank McGuinness Institute for just holding this space for us to enable this conversation. And just to you guys for giving up your time to be with us this evening. Now, for me, I was assigned to speak last to give a perspective of Pacific youth on foresight and future talking. As a Pacific person growing up, we never really heard stories of the future. It was more so addressing what's happened in the past, and that will enable what's going to happen in the future. Either you avoid it or you redirect yourself to, or no, not redirect, but you continue to do the same thing. And what really spoke out to me in this panel was the experience that both Peter and Tamati shared, especially Peter. One of his points that he mentioned was positive pathways and fairness and trust. If we really think about it and delve into those points, if we're really going to be fair with each other, we're going to have to do what Tamati said and not play the blame game, but get on and just mend what's been broken and then fix it. And if you're not willing to address it, then either get out of the way so someone can step up and do it, or you're just going to get the continued cycle of what we're seeing today. So that's what really shone out to me. And also when the Right Honourable Jim Bolger mentioned the oil shock, and also Dame Sylvia Cartwright, it kind of made me think of how it affected my ancestors when they first migrated here, and the effects that had on them. And if we are willing to address those issues, and even if we are going to go as far back, like Jim Bolger said, to address both the good parts of the past and the not so good, with the place that Te Tiriti has in New Zealand, are we willing to understand what the Declaration of Independence is? Like Jim Bolger said, we celebrated that on Monday, but that was also the day that the Declaration of Independence was also signed. And if people know the relationship between that document and the treaty, and then also the works of Moana Jackson and the Declaration of Independence, and we address those, then we also address what the possible outcomes may be for the future. I had the privilege of being a part of a workshop with Wendy, where it was bringing together youth from around the motu, from around New Zealand, and some from the Pacific, talking about strategies that we can address, that we can use to address climate change. And we had the privilege of having Dr. Richard Lum from the University of Hawaii come and speak with us. And the one thing that stood out for all of us was that he said, and he's a futurist scholar himself, but the one thing he said to us is the future doesn't exist. So you can do all the planning and strategies you like for it, but it's not going to exist. And that really stuck with me, because all this planning that we see in politics now, which is 10 years or 30 years with policy making, is not tangible. We're not going to be able to see the results if we're not going to be able to address those issues now. And for me, and I'll leave this with you because it's something that that I hear a lot when I'm in spaces with Pacifica and Māori people, especially when we're talking about making decisions for our future, is that decisions that we make now, they're not going to affect you in 30 years' time or in your lifetime, but it's going to affect generations 7 years from now. And I just want to leave that with you guys. Thanks.